Hey everyone, it's Mare from SickMom, checking in for day 7 of Carnivore way of eating. I thought I'd just do a quick little recap video in case you didn't get a chance to see the other ones that were posted this week. But really, the first day 1 was really interesting. I had just undertaken a pretty big and kind of daunting decision. I wasn't sure how I was going to talk to my friends or family about it. And I'm pretty happy so far with the decision that I've made to do this. I know that it's not always going to be easy, but it has simplified my life quite a lot to just be eating meat this week and be prepping for that. And then also just taking care of what my daughter needs to eat as well. So, I am not regretting this at all. I'm not regretting deciding to ditch all fruits and vegetables for the foreseeable future. I think that if we look at methods of preparation and keeping some variety in, again, as I said on day 2, really happy I have an Instant Pot. That has been such a great thing to have. It's so easy to do big batch cooking, and also just even for things like doing a batch of ground beef or ground turkey, it's really fast. And for some reason, when you cook meat in the Instant Pot under pressure, the flavor is amazing. The first time I ever did ground beef in the Instant Pot and cooking it under pressure as opposed to sauteing or, turning it into burgers or something else, I was so surprised at how flavorful the meat was without adding any seasoning whatsoever, without adding any salt or spices or anything. It just had a really lovely flavor. And it was just so easy to do. You put it in the Instant Pot, put a little bit of water underneath the rack, and you let it go for, I don't know, I think it was like 20 minutes and it was done. Might have actually been less than that. Yeah, anyway, I just can't remember off the top of my head. But I'm finding that that is a very valuable tool, as well as my barbecue, having a stove, having an oven. Traditional methods of cooking are also really high on my list. I love to grill meat. I love to barbecue. So that's probably, I still think that's my favorite way of cooking meat is on the barbecue. And we'll definitely be doing that some more after grilling some hamburgers the other night that turned out so well. And, just having some steak in my fridge that needs to get cooked as well. I did the steaks the other day. I pan fried them and they were good, but I find it's a lot easier to get the cook that I want on a steak in particular on the barbecue, just because it renders meat it renders the fat on the meat a lot faster than if you're doing it in the frying pan, because barbecue is more like, you're getting the heat sort of from all around if you preheat your barbecue properly. It's almost like having it in the oven and grilling it that way. Day 3 was hot water. Love, because I just do love drinking my hot water. I have to say though, I tried something today. I have a stovetop cappuccino maker that is really, really simple to use. And before, I used to make lattes with coconut milk or almond milk. Well, I have some heavy whipping cream in my fridge. And I thought, why not make a cappuccino using heavy whipping cream? It was one of the most delightful things I think I've ever made using that little device. It was awesome. Still had a really great coffee flavor, but the color is much, much lighter than a cappuccino usually is. It's almost the same color as like melted vanilla ice cream, a little bit darker than that. Because really heavy whipping cream in its natural state, yeah, that's almost what like vanilla ice cream is anyway. So a little bit darker than that. So lovely, and it was quite filling. I haven't eaten a whole bunch today. I haven't been all that hungry. I did mention that yesterday, that I didn't have a great appetite either. That was kind of migraining. Today's sort of migraine hangover. So I'm going for things that I'm finding very appealing and palatable. Had some egg bites this afternoon with bacon and a little bit of cheese. They were delicious. So I think I still have a meal coming though. I'm starting to feel like maybe I need to cook something. Maybe I need to eat something that I have in the fridge already, because I just haven't eaten a whole bunch. And I know that I have to keep my calorie intake high and consistent for this to work. So I better get to eating. Yeah. Day 4 was shopping and conversations. I just talked a little bit about going to Costco and finding a really nice piece of beef that turned into some beautiful steaks, and really happy with that purchase. And just even looking around at Costco, I mean, I usually buy 4 packs of ground turkey there anyway, and that's where I buy a lot of my pork. So it tends to be my go-to for meat shopping. Out of curiosity, though, I did go to Walmart to have a look in their meat department to see what they had, just because that was, that was a lot that Gordon Ramsay talked about a few years ago on Hell's Kitchen. They were using cuts of beef that were from Walmart, and they were very, very good. I think they did the same thing on MasterChef. It was one or the other or both. But anyway, so I thought I'll go check it out. They didn't really have a great variety, and to be quite honest, the prices are better at Costco. So I think I'm going to keep purchasing the bulk of my meat at Costco. And if I get stuck, I would probably go somewhere like Sobeys or Safeway before even going to somewhere like Superstore. I knew a butcher once who said he would never ever buy meat from Superstore. And Superstore, I love you. I give you all my heart. But I kind of have to agree with him that sometimes you go into the meat department and the meat that is available doesn't look that palatable. It looks like it's been there or it's been pumped full of water. And yeah, not my favorite place to shop for meat. But for other stuff, absolutely. It's fantastic. Really great prices. The bulk of my conversations also started on day 4, when people have been asking me, like, how's it been going? And I have a couple people that have been asking me sort of every day, like, how's it going? How do you feel? And I'm like, well, still early to tell. I'm still dealing with my health issues as they show up. But I feel like everything has been simplified because I only have to worry about meat. And I don't have to worry about, well, okay, I can eat those vegetables today because my stomach's not upset, or maybe I can have a little bit more fruit right now. I'm not even having to worry about those conversations anymore. So it's made it so much simpler, so much easier, and I'm really grateful at this point. I've also watched a lot of videos too, people talking about having conversations about boredom, getting very bored with just eating meat. There's so many different ways that you can prepare meat that I think it'll take a while before I reach that boredom, the humdrum of eating more or less the same thing every day. There's always interesting combinations that you can try, and there's different kinds of meat that you can bring into your diet every once in a while, things that are a bit more expensive like lamb. I love lamb. It's wonderful, but it's just not a cost-effective choice right now for me. So I'll stick with the other stuff. I am seriously considering baking a turkey though next month, because I've been talking about that for a while. Thanksgiving and Christmas dinners tend to happen at my sister's place, and so I get to go home with wonderful leftovers, which is great. But I do enjoy making my own turkey, and and all of the good stuff that you can make from that, making soup afterwards out of the bones. And I do enjoy broth and soup, and I think that that's still going to be fairly consistent, even though a lot of people who have been doing the carnivore way of life for a while don't really incorporate broth and soups as much. And that was a little bit surprising to me, because I thought that would, be something fairly consistent. But someone did mention that for people who are quite ill, that bone broth is ideal. And I'm coming from a place of having been really ill for a really long time. So even just drinking something comforting like broth instead of drinking the hot water is really nice. It's a nice change, and it's a bit more satisfying some days. If, I don't feel quite like eating, I know that I can just have a cup of broth and it'll be great. And then moving forward from that, right into the salt conversation on day 5, I wanted to really discuss what it means to be having quite a bit of salt in your diet. And that's something that I do need. I find that I require more salt. It helps to keep my headaches at bay. It just also helps with nausea overall. So it's not like, yeah, I am mindful of how much salt I have on a daily basis because I don't want to go overboard. But on the days where I feel like I need salt, I just let her rip with the salt grinder. And, I just keep adjusting the seasoning until I feel like, yeah, that's the level of salt that we need today. Some days I barely use salt. Other days I find that I really do have to add quite a lot. Just depending on probably on where my electrolyte levels are and my hydration levels as well. So, but as I had mentioned in the hot water video, that I've been drinking probably 2 to 3 liters of hot water for the last couple of months. And that's really helped a lot. It's helped develop better habits so that I'm drinking a lot more water. So then, making sure that I can flush my system. And if I do have a little bit too much salt, that I'm not going to be that worse for wear on one day because I know I'm drinking lots of water constantly throughout the day. And then yesterday's video was about talking to my mom and telling her about the lifestyle choice that I have made and that I'm committed to it for at least 3 months, and that I just asked for her patience and her understanding, and just a lovely, lovely conversation with my mom. Just so informative. We both know a lot about nutrition. And if you want to know more about that, I'd say watch the day 6 video because we do go a lot more in depth on the individual days. But anyway, talking to my mom was kind of the highlight of my week because I had sort of been concerned about how that conversation was going to go, but it turned out so well. And my mom was just very understanding and acknowledging that I'm coming from a place where I'm willing to do just about anything to get better at this point, and that I want my life back. And that means that I need to try something that I haven't tried before. And this is something that is new. I've never tried this way of eating before. And we can only wait and see how things go. So I need to be consistent in my approach and keep my eye in the distance, keep my eye on the prize and think, I know that after a few months, we will have a much clearer picture of how much this has impacted my health, good or bad. And I will have my doctor also keeping tabs on me, which gave my mom a lot of peace of mind. And it gives me a lot of peace of mind too, to know that I have someone who's going to be able to track my progress. So that was kind of our week in a nutshell. I thought, for day 7, it would be sort of good to just give you guys a snapshot of each of the days that we've already posted up on our channel. And this week, I'm hoping to get some more variety up and get some of my other footage that I have shot in the past year, get all of that ready for release, and continue doing the carnivore videos for you to follow me on my journey. Please, if you have any comments, I invite them. Just remember, be kind. I'm coming from a place where it's been kind of 5 years on and off of a lot of challenges and not a lot of ease in my life. So just be sure also to give us a big thumbs up in the bar just below here and tell us that you like that video. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know exactly when the next videos are coming. So for today, This is Mare with SickMom. Check it out.